Welcome back, guys, to the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. I'm your host for today's show, Robert Garcia, diving into the Insiders Analysis series. Of course, going to be going over my beloved Chargers. And bear with me for this episode today, guys. I'm a little bit under the weather, kind of getting over a bit of a cold, so you can definitely hear it in my voice. A little bit congested still, but nonetheless, powering through it. Flu game. Going to put on my Jordan. What am I even saying? All right, diving into it, guys. Here are the list, here is the list of all of our free agent signings. And starting off at the top, of course, it's Dante Jackson, 2 years, $13 million. The second highest paid contract that we gave out to players who aren't with us already. So that's a little bit interesting there. He had 5 interceptions last year with the Steelers. So total ball hawk. I like this signing. Cam Hart and Tarheeb still played very well last year. Cam Hart, of course, has a little bit of injury concerns. Got to monitor those concussions and see what happens with him. Tarheeb played fantastic. Obviously, play of the year had to be that pick 6 in Atlanta that pretty much won us that game. Our offense couldn't do anything. And that play, man, I still watch that to this day and with just pure excitement. And that was Kirk Cousins legacy game there, 4 interceptions. Although I guess I shouldn't talk too much ish on somebody who threw 4 interceptions. Either way, getting into it, the next signing here, Najee Harris, another Steeler, the second Steeler we signed this offseason. Last year was the Ravens. This year it's Steelers. Something about those AFC North teams. We just love signing guys from there. 1 year, up to $9.25 million. This is a fantastic contract, honestly. I think the base on it is like $5 million or something like that, $5.25 million or something like that. Ortiz absolutely cooked with these contracts this offseason. Not a single player got overpaid for, and we can get out from under them without really any big issues, should we need to. So I love the Najee pick. I loved it more as we sign more guys, and I'll get into that, as we get to some of the players down below. But I think he can be a really good running back in this offense. Kind of on the sad news, though, I don't think we're going to sign JK. I would love to bring him back, but with the Najee signing, it really sounds like we're going in another direction. I also think we're going to draft a running back at some point in the first 3 rounds. So we'll see what happens with that. Going over to the defensive side of the ball here to D-line with Deshaun Hand from the Dolphins, 1 year up to $3.35 million. Just another depth piece, great rotational guy. Had some good snaps with the Dolphins, or good plays, I should say, with the Dolphins. I trust Minter. I can't say too much about him. Obviously the 1 year, $3 million isn't a huge deal. So, it's just a depth piece, but we definitely still need to address the D-line further. But this is the big signing of the offseason, Mekhi Becton. And, man, this is the signing that kind of brought Chargers fans off the ledge a little bit. It was definitely came out of nowhere. This was at I want to say this signing happened at 7:00 at night, Pacific Standard Time, which is obviously where I'm located here in California. And so yeah, I thought it was just really strange. There was no rumblings about it whatsoever. This was, in my opinion, the surprise signing of the free agency for us. I mean, coming off of Super Bowl win, 2,000-yard rusher in Saquon, had his best year in his career as a guard, which is what we needed so desperately. He is a mauler in the running game. I mean, just the highlight tapes of him, and he's an O-lineman. That should say something if you have highlight tapes as an O-lineman. I'm very, very excited. And for only $10 million a year, Ortiz cooking up, man. Gotta love it. Moving on now to another defensive line signing. Depth piece in Daquan Jones, another 1 year deal. I couldn't find too much about him. He went to college at Michigan State, so kind of a hardball rival in that sense. Had 3 sacks last year. with the 49ers, or excuse me, not the 49ers, what am I saying? With the Cardinals, getting my NFC West teams mixed up. But so, it's another, like I said, just another depth piece signing. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Minter could do with him. We had the same thing with Tier Tart last year, had the same thing with Puna Ford. So, just a couple of 1-year prove it deals. Now, although I hope if they perform and, exceed expectations that we should re-sign them, Puna Ford. So I have that hope, but we'll see what happens. Kind of getting down into the sort of lesser tier signings, if you will. Benjamin Saint-Juste, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, cornerback from Washington. So Coach Mike pretty much just completely poo-pooed on this guy. So I can't really be too excited with that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Minter could do with him. The Michigan guy, of course, from, when he was with Harbaugh. So, we'll see. Can Harbaugh get something out of him that the Commanders were never able to? Can he ignite some kind of Michigan spark in him and get him to play at an extreme level? We'll see. But, with the Dante Jackson signing, and of course, I was already mentioned Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart, he's most likely our cornerback 4 or 5. Like I said, just another depth piece. And getting into it, like I said, another depth piece in the linebacker, Del'Shawn Phillips. Linebacker room is pretty much set now with that signing. We'll get into a re-signing in the future, so I'll hold off on that. But you have Junior Colson, Denzel Perry. Oh, well, all right, there you go. Just spoiled it. Junior Colson, whatever. Junior Colson, Denzel Perryman, and Troy Dye, who were both re-signs. And then, of course, Del'Shawn Phillips. And, oh my God, who am I missing? Henley. Yes. That's what I'm thinking of. Dan Henley. Yes. So Henley, Colson, Reed, and Phillips kind of round out the linebacker room. And now this one was definitely last minute, I should say. Andre James from the Raiders. This was a very low-key signing. I put question marks there because we don't know what the contract is yet, although assuming it's another Ortiz Harbaugh special, it's probably going to be another 1-year deal. I'd be shocked if it was anything more than that. But he is actually a really underrated signing. I'm very excited to see how he performs. This is most likely our starting center going into this year. We'll get into the re-signing. I'll just go ahead and switch over to the next slide. You'll see here that we did re-sign Bozeman to a 2-year deal up to $12 million. That up to $12 million was very misleading. This deal is really only like a 2-year, $5 million deal, and you're able to get out from under it after the first year. So complete backup deal. I love that for what he is going to be. Somebody who was in this offense at least for a year, has some familiarity. So should Andre go down, hopefully not, we have some stability. I put quotations around that because when Bozeman's at the center of your line, it's really never stable. So I digress. But with that signing, we kind of have our starting O-line set, it looks like. So, of course, Slater and Alt on the ends. You have Andre James at center, Becton at right guard, and Pipkins, not Pipkins, Zion at left guard. Zion or Pipkins, we'll see what happens there in that fight. I believe Zion has that spot for now, though. Getting into the re-signings, obviously Khalil Mack was the big one, 1 year, $18 million. This is most likely Mack's last year in the league, which is really crazy to say. He's had a heck of a career, and man, I just hope we're able to do something for him for his last year. I hope this team is able to do something this year. He hasn't even won a playoff game in his career yet. So for the type of player he is, and future Hall of Famer in my opinion, I really hope we're able to get something done for him. Also got back our backup QB, Tyler Heineke, to a 1-year deal. Tier Tart and Troy Dye, as I mentioned, coming back on 1-year deals. Denzel Perryman also coming back. So a lot of 1-year re-signings, just bringing guys back. I love these 1-year re-signings, although they kind of give me a little bit of pause for what we're planning. This is definitely Harbaugh and Ortiz clearing out the old regime to the fullest and bringing in their guys and having the money to do so. Re-sign Jalen Reagor. His fumble in Arizona is always what I think about when I hear him. He's made some great plays, absolutely, but that fumble in Arizona was just killer. Elijah Molden, this was the big re-signing, our biggest re-signing of the offseason, 3 years, $18.75 million. This was actually, I think, the first re-signing we got done. This was like really early in the offseason, if I'm being honest. So really great DB. Played mostly safety with Derwin, so I'm very excited for him. Excited to get him back. I already talked about Bradley Bozeman, and we extended J.K. Scott as well. Punter, it's kind of not really fun to talk about punters, but I guess Ryan Ficken wanted him back, and whatever Ficken wants, Ficken gets. So yeah, happy with that. And then of course the releases of Gus Edwards. Bye. And Joey Bosa. This one hurts a little bit. I know a lot of Chargers fans on X especially were just I don't even want to say it, but they were not saying very nice things about Bosa leaving. And it's really just kind of upsetting as a fan. He was the last of the San Diego Chargers, so to see him go is kind of upsetting. To know that although Denzel Perryman is, I guess, there too, but it's a little bit different when he had already left. Bosa was the last, true San Diego Charger left, on the team. So for him to go, it definitely hurts a little bit, but it was time. The injury history caught up to him. It was that cap number, 36 mil, was it? Yeah, we were never going to keep him under that cap. Well, I know Ortiz came out and said, yeah, we can envision. No, you couldn't. You were never envisioning that. He's, just doing what a good GM should do, and talk good about his players while they're still on the roster. So, nevertheless, it was sad to see Bosa go. I do wish him well in Buffalo, just not when he faces us, as I'm sure most other Chargers fans agree with me on that. And now it comes to the big question: what are the Chargers' biggest needs today? Obviously, the edge rusher room needs to get younger. Signed a couple of those D linemen, like I said, interior D linemen. This is a very heavy defensive line draft. A lot of great edge rushers, but a lot more defensive tackles and nose tackle talent. So I'm very curious to see how much defense we go in this draft. I think offense is definitely still a little bit shaky, needs some help. I think running back. I think another wide receiver would be another wide receiver or tight end. So I'm going to say another receiving threat. Excuse me. Should definitely be a priority going into this draft. And then I would also like to see them try to draft some more offensive line depth. I think that's a position that you can never hurt to take more offensive linemen, but that's not till later in the draft, maybe day 3. But with that being said, guys, here's our socials here for the gang and myself. Let me know what you guys think are the Chargers' biggest needs down in the comments below. Check us out over on Twitter, Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel Lockdown Defense Sports, where we produce the best content during this NFL offseason. And with that, y'all have a wonderful night or day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in the next one.